Shares of Microsoft and Google's parent Alphabet rose by 4% and 3% respectively in after-hours trading on Tuesday following the company's stronger than expected earnings result for the March quarter. Now, Google's parent Alphabet reported profits from the first quarter, which fell slightly from the year-ago quarter to nearly $15.1 billion or $1.17 per share, but still beat expectation. The company posted $69.8 billion in revenue for the first quarter, up 3% from the same period in the prior year. On the other hand, Microsoft posted income of $18.3 billion, up 9% year over year, far exceeding the expectation. The company also posted sales of $52.9 billion, up 7% year over year, ahead of the $51 billion analysts had expected. The expectation, of course, was that Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, will do better, but Microsoft, they're beating all expectations.
Right. So we'll come to the comparison of Apple and Alphabet and Microsoft subsequently. But I think what is important to note again in this headline, if you go a little deeper, is the fact that Alphabet for the first time, ever since it got listed 20 years ago, has seen a dip in its digital revenue, which means ad sales on its digital platforms, including YouTube, have taken a beating. So overall ad revenue has fallen 4% in this quarter. Google has never seen a dip in its digital ad revenue. So that's a big news coming out. And why is this happening? There seems to be a very direct migration from Google search engine to the AI chatbot ChatGPT powered Bing, which is owned by Microsoft. Now, 4% overall decline in ad sales, 2.5% decline in YouTube's ad sales. And YouTube, of course, when Google bought it, it was this new chip on the block, new kid on the block, which everybody was very, very bullish on, and it has added tremendously to Google's top line and bottom line over the last 20 years. But for the first time, it has seen that there's a dip in ad revenue of 2.5%. On the other hand, in the case of Google, cloud computing has actually helped the parent company Alphabet rake in its top line. So we've seen a quarterly profit of about $15.05 billion, which has given an earnings per share of 1.17. Now let's compare this directly to Microsoft. In the case of Microsoft, we've seen that overall there's been a 9% increase in profits, and the quarterly earning has surpassed that of Alphabet at $18.3 billion. So 15.05 for Alphabet versus 18.3 billion for Microsoft, which has given an EPS or earnings per share of about $2.24. Now, I think it's important to look at the SWOT analysis. If you were to compare these two big tech giants sitting in the US, it's important to look at their SWOT analysis, and incidentally, you will notice that the strengths of one are actually turning into the opportunity for the other. So broadly, when you look at a SWOT analysis, you will see that Google's biggest strength right now does not happen to be its search engine. Right. Its biggest strength happens to be cloud computing if you were to look at the quarterly results. Its biggest weakness right now is what was its earlier strength, which is its digital ad revenue engines, which were largely YouTube as well as Google Search and AdWords and all the other digital products that it offers. On the other hand, its opportunity today lies in the success of Bard, its AI chatbot. And that for whatever reason has not really kicked off as significantly as it has in the case of Microsoft, that invested heavily, $10 billion, if I remember correctly, in ChatGPT. And the biggest threat, obviously, that Google faces right now is from its rival Microsoft on exactly that account, which is ChatGPT. But when you look at Microsoft's SWOT analysis, Microsoft, the biggest strength it seems to have today is incidentally ChatGPT, its AI chatbot, followed of course by the weakness which it has is on its search engine Bing, which has thus far not compared well with Google's own search engine. But now with ChatGPT being enabled in the Bing search, the threat that Google faces of ChatGPT powered Bing taking on its search engine is incidentally the biggest opportunity for Microsoft to be able to go hammer and tongs after Google and Google's business model and really arrive at a solution where it happens to further dominate its position in the chat engine. And its threat, incidentally, is the opportunity that Google is playing with is the success of Bard. if it ever happens.
Okay,
So,
and success of Bard, I mean, that's a million-dollar question again, because on the back of Bard, we know, and major failures there of Google living up to the AI expectation that it had created.
Yeah.
We understand that Bard, when they were trying to launch it big time, did not really help Google. The stocks went down. Now, in this war of AI, who's going to do better? It appears that Microsoft seems to have taken a lead over Google.
Yeah, I mean, numbers are not yet in, and it seems, fairly premature right now to believe that Bing has or will in the foreseeable future overtake Google's search engine. That does not seem to be the case in numbers as yet. But with the success of ChatGPT, with the success of let's say, the integration of ChatGPT in Bing, Google's biggest worry right now is that Bing is going to eat the cake, eat the cream on the cake, and perhaps eat the cherry as well.
Absolutely. Have you used Bing of late?
I haven't used the Bing version with ChatGPT integrated, but people I've spoken to who have done a test run of the AI-enabled Bing, they say that this is actually pretty much the next level of search, and this is something that every internet-driven company is going to invest in, because the traditional way of searching for information is going to change drastically, where a chat-like feature where you can interact with your search engine and it throws up more usable information and is able to understand from your multiple queries and able to customize its result is where the future of internet search is.
And Microsoft there happens to have taken
Microsoft,
a step over.
with its leap of faith on ChatGPT, on OpenAI,
it's worked for them.
It seems to be working and seems to continue to work for them.
Absolutely.